Hello everyone, and welcome to today's deck profile. Today we are going over the Flower Cardian archetype. The Flower Cardians are a ridiculously fun deck based around top decking your Flower Cardian monsters and drawing about 3/4 of your deck in just one turn. So, without further ado, let's hop into the video. Starting it off, we're starting with one of the two normal summons of the deck, Flower Cardian Pine. When it's a normal summon, draw one card, show it, send it to the grave and list the Flower Cardian monster. All Flower Cardians have some version of this effect, where you draw a card, it's a Flower Cardian, you keep it, otherwise it goes right to your graveyard. If this card is drawn by battle and sent to the grave, or if it's drawn by a card effect, draw one card. Usually Pine does not stay around long enough to actually use that effect, but it's one of your two normal summons, so you kinda gotta play max copies of it. And now for your second normal summon of the deck, two Flower Cardian Cherry Blossoms. If you control a level 2 or lower Flower Cardian monsters, special this card from your hand. However, you cannot normal or special summon monsters except for Flower Cardians for the rest of the turn. Once per turn, you contribute one other Flower Cardian monster, draw one card. If it's Flower Cardian, you can take one Flower Cardian from your deck, either add it to hand or special summon it. Otherwise, if it's not a Flower Cardian, it does have to go to the grave. So usually you normal summon your Pine, and then you try to use your Cherry Blossom to get another card, but the entire deck is putting you on top deck mode. So, it doesn't really work the whole time. Next up, we play 3 copies of Flower Cardian Zebragrass. While you control a level 7 or lower Flower Cardian monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. However, you're locked into Flower Cardian monsters. Any of the Flower Cardians that I'm going to go over do Xeno lock you, so you're not going to go into ridiculous synchro plays, but you will still be able to do some fun Flower Cardian plays. Zebragrass's special effect is that when it's normal or special summoned, reveal any number of Flower Cardian monsters in your hand, shuffle them into the deck, then draw that same number of cards. I'd also like to add that all Flower Cardians have an effect that summons themselves if you have a Flower Cardian with a lower level than it on the field. Now for the best recycler in the deck, we play 3 Flower Cardian Willow. If you have a 10 or lower, you can special Willow, and with the turn, you can shuffle a Flower Cardian from your grave into your deck to draw a new card. Phenomenal card. This allows you to recycle even itself, and to kind of continue your plays as you go throughout the deck. Otherwise, it's just a great free card to put on board for your synchro summons. Flower Cardian Peony is summoned itself if you have a level 11 or lower, and when this card is targeted for an attack, negate the attack, and the battle phase, draw one card. If you have to end on any of these guys, Peony is probably the best one, because it has the only effect that works during your opponent's turn. Next, we're going to get into some of the other special summons in the deck, like 3 Cherry Blossom with Curtain. It can only be special summoned by revealing the top card of your deck. If the top card happens to be a Flower Cardian, you can special summon Curtain. This also counts as an Alistair in hand, where you can discard it to boost up one of your Flower Cardian monsters by 1,000. Great card, but it's like the other Flower Cardians where it really puts you in top deck mode. Next up, we do play 3 copies of Flower Cardian Peony with Borderfly. It has to be first special summoned by tributing a Flower Cardian. If it's summoned, draw a card. If it's a Flower Cardian, you get to look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. Either place them on top or bottom of your opponent's deck in any order. This card really helps you put your opponent in a very sticky situation, especially once you get the control board of a Light Shower or a Light Flare on board. You can really kind of ruin their day. It also has the effect that all Flower Cardian tuners have, where all other synchro materials are treated as level 2 for the synchro summon of Flower Cardian. Then for the last monster, 1 copy of Flower Cardian Willow with Calligrapher. All of the special summon themselves monsters have a evolved counterpart, but Willow with Calligrapher and Cherry Blossom with Curtain are the only ones you really play. Calligrapher effect can only be summoned by attributing a level 11 Flower Cardian monster, which is your Willow. And if it is, draw a card. If it's a Flower Cardian, special summon it. If it's not a Flower Cardian, send it to the grave. And then it has the Synchro effect where all of the other materials become level 2. Moving on to the spells, we play 3 copies of Flower Gathering. This card is ridiculous. It allows you to summon 4 Flower Cardians with 100 attack from your deck by negating their effects, and they cannot be tributed for a tribute summon, and it does Xenolock you, but still, the entirety of these cards can just be summoned off of Flower Gathering, which is insane, because that gives you a free copy of your Light Shower or your Light Flare, depending on what's left in your hand. Next up, we play 3 copies of Super Koi Koi. When it's activated, you can activate the top 3 cards of your deck, special summon as many Flower Cardians as possible. Then, any Flower Cardians you did not activate get banished face down, and you take 1,000 life point damage each. So once again, top deck mode card, but it's very fun when you actually get it off, and there are cards in the deck, like Flower Stacking, which guarantee your Super Koi Koi. It also has the effect that you can banish it to summon a Flower Cardian monster by tributing one, ignoring condition, but you're rarely going to use that effect. Next, we play 3 copies of Recardination. You target a Flower Cardian in your graveyard, add it to hand, then you can special summon 1 Flower Cardian from your hand, ignoring summoning conditions. That last part's very important because that means that if you have a Willow in hand that you cannot use right now, and a Recardination, you can get that Willow off for free. Recardination also has an effect that if it's milled or sent to grave by a Flower Cardian effect, so if you whiff off of a Flower Cardian effect and send Recardination, you can activate the top 5 cards of your deck, add 1 spell or trap to hand from those 5, then place the rest back on top of the deck in any order. So this is just a phenomenal card for the archetype. Next, we play 3 copies of Flower Stacking. This card is legal cheating. I don't know how else to describe it, but its effect is that you choose 3 Flower Cardian monsters with different names from your deck, place them on top of the deck in any order, then during the main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the grave, banish it to add a Flower Cardian from grave to hand. This second effect is really important after you use your Moonflower Viewing, or if you used your Light Showers effect, you won't be able to draw. So banishing this the second turn really lets you kind of continue your plays by adding something like a Willow to your hand, or even a Pine to just get started on another round. And of course, the first effect is insane, allowing you to place any 3 Flower Cardians from your deck right on top. Fantastic card. Of course, because they're all dark monsters, 3 Layer of Darkness. Most of you all know what it does. It's fantastic card for the deck because you do not stop drawing in this deck. Speaking of drawing, I do play 2 Advanced Draw. Tribute a level 8 or higher monster you control to draw 2 cards. The majority of the Flower Cardians you're going to be special summoning are 8 or higher, meaning it's a free Pot of Greed because you didn't have to put any resources into summoning them. I do play 2 copies of Desynchro. This really helps out if you want to pop into a Moonflower Viewing to get an extra draw, and then go back to your actual combo. But it's just a pretty fair card to toss in there. Finally, 1 Rhoda. It searches Pine at the beginning of your turn, or if you just need something to extend, you can go for a Curtain, but either way, it's just search power. Now moving on to the extra deck. Play 3 copies of Moonflower Viewing. This is a level 6 Synchro tuner, so it takes 3 Flower Cardians. Once per turn during the main phase, draw a card. If it's a Flower Cardian, you can special summon it, ignoring summoning conditions. so you can get out your Willow with Calligrapher based on that. However, during the turn you activated this effect, you cannot attack directly, and you cannot draw during your next draw phase. Then it has the effect that all Flower Cardian tuners do. Next up, we play 3 copies of Flower Cardian Borderfly. Borderfly is also level 6, meaning that you can take 3 Flower Cardians. If this card attacks, it gives all your Flower Cardians piercing. You can banish Flower Cardians from grave, and your opponent's locked out of grave effects, and they can't special summon from grave. So it's a great lockdown card if you're kind of running low and you don't have the ability to get to a light shower. Borderfly will still do some pretty good damage. And now for kind of the ace monster of the deck, we play 3 copies of Flower Cardian Light Shower. When it's on the field, your opponent cannot target Flower Cardians you control with card effects, and those monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects. Then, for the very fun effect, during your opponent's draw phase, if they draw for their normal draw, inflict 1500 damage to your opponent. So, great burn card that they can't really out unless they attack over it. Then, during your opponent's end phase, you have to activate one of these effects. Either skip your next draw phase or negate this card's effect. You almost always want to go for the draw phase effect, because you want to keep your protection, and you do have cards like your Flower Stacking to help you boost out the next turn. So yes, fantastic card. It's great when your opponent's kind of out of choices and you just kind of sit there and watch them burn themselves to death. And finally, for the boss monster, 3 copies of Light Flare. This takes 5 Flower Cardians, including a tuner. It has a Spell Trap negate. When it attacks, the opponent's monster's effects are negated. And it floats into another Flower Cardian Synchro monster, usually into your Flower Cardian Light Shower. Otherwise, it's just a 5k beat stick that usually wins a lot of duels for me. But without anything else, I hope you all enjoyed this deck profile. The Flower Cardians are definitely one of my favorites, and I hope to show them off fairly soon. But until next time, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and let me know what deck you'd like to see next. Until then, thanks for watching.